Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to jump on here real quick to talk about the women's boxing. So early on, some of the publications were reporting that the two boxers were trans, but it soon became obvious that they don't identify as trans. That's not what we're dealing with when it comes to this story, especially as one of them is from Algeria. I seriously doubt the parents decided to transition their child when it comes to this situation. These boxers were prevented from competing at the World Championships because they failed the gender test. Their testosterone levels were never tested, according to the International Boxing Association. So this isn't about testosterone levels. The IBA said that they failed the requirements to compete in the women's category. And their requirement is that you have XX chromosomes. Like Caster Semenya, it appears that these two boxers have DSD or are intersex, whatever you want to call it.
You're the best in the world. People get obsessed, with what you do. And then comes a genetic. Okay, we all different anyway, in kind of a way, in life.
I think it challenges and threatens the integrity of women's sports to have intersex athletes competing against genetic women. I think Caster's a wonderful person. I have nothing against her, but I think we already have an established precedent of men's sports and women's sports, and I think we need to honor that. Women have fought far too long to be able to even have the right to compete, and now it's being challenged by intersex and trans athletes, and I don't think that's right.
You're chasing down somebody like Caster Semenya, who's light years ahead, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to avoid the issue all year, and you can see how emotional it was, between me and Melissa and Joanna at the end, and we know how each other feel, but it's out with our control and very much relying on the people at the top sorting it out, and I think the public can see as well. Sorry. Just how difficult it is with the change of rule, but all we can do is give our best.
I saw the three of you come together there, kind of a hug of unity.
Yeah, I mean, we see each other week in, week out, so yeah, we know how each other feel.
There's no such thing in life. If you want to get rid of a human being, you go tell them straight, I want to get rid of you, instead of going around collecting data on how their body or their physique, their performance. Probably there's something adventurous or something, or probably because they say I have advantage in high testosterone. Of course I do have it, so what?
They do not have XX chromosomes. Now even people who are intersex are still either female or male. Caster Semenya was diagnosed with 5-ARD, which stands for alpha reductase deficiency. This is a condition that only affects males. Now when it comes down to Khelif and Yu Ting, we don't know their condition because the IBA cannot disclose personal medical information. That's private information, so we don't know what their condition is officially. A lot of people believe that Caster was a woman or was female and just happened to have high testosterone levels that's higher than the average woman. Then it came out that Caster has XY chromosomes, and I believe it's a very similar situation when it comes to Khelif and Yu Ting. We know as a matter of fact is that these boxers failed the gender test, the IBA's gender test, that requires XX chromosomes. So we know that their chromosomes are not XX, and that is a requirement to be female. That is non-negotiable. Now, if you believe the IBA is lying or mistaken, I would like for people to produce evidence of that. Otherwise, I am going to take them at their word that they performed at least 2 gender tests on these athletes, and that these 2 athletes failed. And the thing to remember is that neither Khelif or Yu Ting contested the decision. Khelif started an appeal, and then it was withdrawn. So the decision of the IBA became legally binding. Those are the facts. But now what I'm seeing is people purporting to know the anatomy of Khelif and all the intimate details of what Khelif possesses when it comes to either female or male anatomy. And I would like to know, where are you getting that information from? Because last time I checked, this person's private medical information has not been released, and it would be illegal for that to occur. Now, a photo of Khelif dressed up as a little girl in a prepubescent time in this person's life doesn't make Khelif female. We've had people claim that they know that this person has a uterus, they know that this person has a vagina, all of these claims. Again, where are you getting your information from? Because the IBA certainly hasn't released such information. All I've seen are photos of this person from early childhood. Now, the IOC, the woke IOC, they did say that this person was born a woman, because from birth, the doctors probably told the parents that their child was female. Or sometimes it's even left to the parents to decide how they want to raise the child. Pick a gender. And some people choose a gender that doesn't fall in line with the biological sex. Only example I can think of is Lady C. Lady C was born in the late 40s in Jamaica, and during that time, they automatically assigned a gender as male. Even for female babies, all babies were given the gender of male if they were born with abnormalities. And Lady C is female, but for the first 21 years of her life, she was raised as a male. She was raised as a boy. Again, even when you have DSD, intersex, you are still either male or female. It could be down to something as simple as hospital policy. So she said, I had an odd upbringing. I was born with a deformity and brought up in the wrong gender. So this very well could be the situation when it comes to these two boxers in question. Being raised as a girl doesn't mean Khelif has XX chromosomes. Again, according to the IBA, Khelif does not. Khelif does not qualify to compete in the women's category. The IOC has a policy that literally allows male athletes to compete in female categories. If the national governing body is okay with it, the IOC will not stand in their way. This is their inclusion policy. And they even said that they will never presume that such athletes have an advantage, even if they're male. The IOC would say the same thing about a trans-identified male who happened to be socially transitioned from early childhood, who happened to have their legal documents changed to female. They will say the same thing about that person, because they believe that if you're recognized as a woman, then you're a woman. This is their policy. Now, according to one report, the IBA accused Khelif and Yu Ting of being deceptive, indicating that they know full well that they're male, but they wanted to compete in the women's category. If they truly believe they're female, why did they not contest the decision? Because it is very easy to prove that you're female. It's very easy to prove that. All it takes is a quick mouth swab.
I mean, I've been saying it all along. This could easily be solved with a cheek swab test. I don't know why they took that away back at the Sydney Games. Especially like the doctor said it. And this could be a one-time thing, especially with combat sports. Why not just do a cheek swab test to have on record, just a one-time thing going forward, so that always remains on record, so that it shows that they have XY chromosomes. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, if Khelif comes back and it's not XY chromosomes, great, congratulations to her. But you know what? Right now, it's showing that that Khelif has XY chromosomes, and if any athlete does have XY chromosomes and goes into a sport, that Y chromosome needs to be investigated. And Khelif should not be in a sport in the female category. It's completely unfair. And right now, they're deeming Khelif a female based on documents, based on birth certificates, based on passports. And we know that a female is more than just a piece of paper.
Yeah, you can't deny DNA. Real quick, Dr. Contachessa, at the end of the day, if you have XY chromosomes, if you are intersex, you have testes. It produces testosterone. Inside, you're a man. Your DNA, if they dug up your bones 100 years from now, they would be male. They wouldn't say, oh, let's look at their birth certificate.
Yeah, that's correct. Again, it's the exposure to these hormonal levels that are basically the equivalent of that of a traditional, what we would consider a male. So they're essentially going through the same process of development that a standard male would go through. So they have these physical advantages. I remember even I played Pee Wee League football when I was a kid, and you had to weigh in before the game, because if you were over the weight limit, they wouldn't let you play because you could hurt somebody else. The same situation here. How are we letting somebody with a physical advantage go against somebody who doesn't have that advantage, and again, putting them at a real physical risk for potentially harm and even death?
And obviously, throughout the years, more than likely, especially if you're an athlete, you will go to the doctor on a regular basis. So I find it hard to believe that they were not aware that they're male. So both of these boxers have proceeded into, I believe, the semi-finals. They have continued to win and progress further into the women's competition. One of the women who lost to Yu Ting outright refused to shake hands with this person, indicating that they were not happy with having to fight this person, indicating that they were protesting being put in this position in the first place. Luca Homori said, "I don't consider this whole thing to be fair." And the CAS, a fully independent tribunal, oversaw the IBA's ruling and said that it was fair. It was fair to ban these two boxers from the female category. And the European VP of the World Boxing Organization, a Hungarian official, confirmed that Khelif is in fact male. He said he warned the IOC about several male boxers, but nothing was done. Problem was not with the level of Khelif's testosterone, because that can be adjusted nowadays, but with the result of the gender test, which clearly revealed that the Algerian boxer is biologically male. So Angela Carini, she has since apologized to Khelif, saying, "It wasn't something I intended to do. Actually, I want to apologize to her and everyone else. I was angry because my Olympics had gone up in smoke." And she said she would embrace Khelif if she had the opportunity to. And some people are saying that, it's a little suspicious that she's now come out and apologized. Was she forced to? Was she pressured to do so? Some speculate maybe it could be the IOC putting pressure on her, or, certain activists. Who knows? So Khelif is a welterweight, been boxing since 2018, with 51 bouts, 9 losses, no knockouts, and 38 wins. This person has never been knocked out, but has knocked out 5 female opponents, and hasn't lost since 2022. And we have some people saying, oh, this person lost to an Irish boxer, this person has lost to women. Losing doesn't make you female. And it's quite insulting to take losing and, not meeting a certain standard to be a characteristic of being female. It's quite insulting if you ask me. It's like implying that being female was some sort of failure. Oh, this person has lost, so apparently that makes them female? No. But Khelif has never been knocked out by a woman. Interesting. It's a lot harder for a female boxer to knock out somebody who is male. These people are progressing further along into the Olympics. They are in different weight categories, so they're not going to be fighting each other. But they have continued to win against every woman they have fought. So we shall see. So I stand by what I said in my original video. I did mention, what the headlines were saying at first, that, this was 2 trans people. But in that same video, in real time, you can see me change my mind and declare that these people aren't trans. So there's people coming on my videos and not watching them and making all these comments. Again, please tell me where you're getting this information from about the anatomy of these people. Because I don't know how you know that. I really don't. It's very, very odd that you purport to know these things. All we have to go on is what the IBA have said. These people were disqualified from the World Championships for a reason. There is some talk of it being a conspiracy. You don't want us to win medals. You don't want our countries to win medals. You're persecuting me. I believe Khelif has alluded to that. So if that's the case, let's see what comes out. What I do know, to be fact, is that males do not belong in women's categories, whether that's trans or intersex. You have XY chromosomes, you do not belong in the female category. Safety first. So let me know what you think. Share your thoughts below. Like, comment and subscribe, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.